two high school freshman students are now facing felony charges after being accused of creating racist graffiti.
This happened at Abraham Lincoln Elementary in mid-February. The teens, who are accused of causing more than $400 in damage, were identified using surveillance footage. Joining us now live is Attorney Mark Harris. He is the district's Equity and Race Liaison. Attorney Harris, good morning. Thanks so much for joining us.
Good morning. Glad to be here.
We have talked about and reported on a number of these incidents of racist graffiti within the district specifically. Why do you think we're seeing and hearing about these more regularly now?
Because, some of the political leadership has normalized it. These are the sorts of things that were continuing to happen, quite honestly, since African Americans have been in this country since 1619. This isn't new to the African American community and other underrepresented communities, but it got granted permission, quite honestly, during the Trump and other administrations. And I think it's, like I said, made it normal now to speak out and do these things out in public.
And Attorney Harris, the teens arrested for graffiti at Abraham Lincoln are facing felony charges. They're minors. Does the punishment fit the crime?
Absolutely. We have a zero tolerance policy at the district for anything that is hate inspired, racist. Anytime we find it, we're going to take every step we can to punish it appropriately. And I think in this case, the punishment absolutely fits the crime.
You and I also talked, and we did a story on the incident at McClatchy High School, where it was an African-American student who was accused of writing the words white and colored over a water fountain there. It was reported that the student didn't realize the history of the word. She said it was a part of a prank. Do you believe the race of the student should be a determining factor to determine the motive and then the eventual punishment?
No. I mean, you compare the two situations. Unfortunately, it's apples and oranges. At McClatchy, you had the word colored and the word white. The National Association for the Advancement of Colored People has colored in its name. So the word itself is not a negative word. The N-word, swastikas, and KKK all indicate something much more evil in terms of the intent of the people who put it on the wall in the second circumstance at Abraham Lincoln than just writing colored or white above water fountains at McClatchy High School.
So with multiple incidents happening in a short period of time, obviously parents and students and faculty and teachers are on high alert. What is your message to everyone in that community, in that district? Let's
take some deep breaths, folks. Let's check in with one another and make sure that our young people know to have empathy for others. How would a person feel if this were a flipped script, so to speak, and they were subjected to this type of behavior? Of course, they wouldn't feel well. So our job is to not only punish, but to also rehabilitate through putting our arms around these young people and making sure they walk the right path going forward.
But Attorney Harris, let's circle back a little bit. You talk about rehabilitation, but then you said that you do believe that a felony punishment fits the crime. How then do you work toward rehabilitation with these students when they are facing a serious crime that ultimately will impact them for the rest of their lives?
The same way you would do it in any other situation. You have to pay a penalty in our society and culture when you commit certain acts. These acts, in my mind, fall within that category. It'll be up to some judicial official in a juvenile context to make the determination in this case. Being charged is not the same thing as being prosecuted. But I think being charged is appropriate here. You cannot make this better until you first acknowledge the abhorrent nature of it. And I think part of the abhorrent nature of it is playing out right now in terms of the charges that are being brought.
All right, Attorney Mark Harris taking the time this morning to explain a very tough topic that we're facing right now in the Sacramento City Unified School District. Thanks so much. We appreciate it.
Pleasure.